Hey everybody, welcome back to Barber Dave's Barbershop at Home for our Sunday shave, but this one's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be kind of a triple header. One of my subscribers, Ibrahim Makuk, had commented that he was having some issues with Badger brushes. So we're going to do a little bit of a tutorial on the front end of our shave to discuss the best way to prepare a Badger brush and to get it to release. And there's a lot of different factors involved, and you'll see that in the video. But the second half of that is over on theshavingcadre.com. And while we're at it, please come and see us at www.theshavingcadre.com. Is the proper way to lather Mitchell's wool fat. Now, most people will agree, and I'm one of them, that a boar brush is very, very good because it digs into the soap. But I've had just as much luck with synthetics and Badgers. So we're going to include that in that video as well, and then we'll come back with the shave. So before we get started, again, as I said, click on here to, or actually come and see us at www.theshavingcadre.com. And if you like what you see, please click the like and subscribe button. We certainly appreciate it. And Ibrahim, I hope this helps you, this front part of the video. And after that, we'll come back for our shave. And so take a look at this first, and then the tutorial video will start right after that. Hey everybody, this was a request from one of my subscribers. So we thought we'd hit two birds with one stone. The first was that he was having trouble with a Badger brush and getting it to lather. So we're going to discuss that. And the second thing was that the best brush for Mitchell's wool fat is a boar brush. I would agree to an extent that yes, because you can dig into the soap a little bit better, but you can do it with a synthetic or a Badger. So what we're going to do today is we're going to show how you can get Mitchell's wool fat to lather very, very well with a Badger brush. Now, there's a couple of key things to a Badger brush to make it work correctly. The first thing is, obviously, when you first get your brush, and please understand these are my opinions, when you first get your brush, you need to season it, so to speak. And so what you'll do is you'll take a non-scented soap. I use Mitchell's wool fat because I feel with the lanolin it softens the bristles the better. And basically you lather that up and you let it sit. You make sure that the soap gets well deep into the bristles and you let that sit for 24 hours. That will do two things. It will bloom the brush and it will get prepared for your first lather. Now, I've chosen specifically one of my hardest brushes to lather, and we'll go into the details. So it's been soaking in warm water for quite some time. Now, with Mitchell's wool fat, and really any soap, I drain all the water out. So it's a fairly dry brush. It's damp. But let's talk about the components of a Badger brush. Now, a Badger brush comes in a multitude of different styles, whether it be a silver tip, 2-band, 3-pin, high mountain Manchurian white, and all of it is based on the density. And of course, these do gel tip, which is basically just a bent tip type thing. But this brush is very, very heavily packed, which means that the flow through of this brush is tough. So you need to make sure that you load it correctly, or you'll never get this brush to, as they say, release the lather. Now, this is a 2-band Super Badger from Morrison Fordran. And so it's a Lee Sabini knot, which are widely thought of as very, very, very good, if not some of the best knots. However, I've always had trouble with this brush, so it does require a few different techniques to get this brush. So what I do is, like I said, it starts with a dry brush. Now, with the Mitchell's wool fat, which is one of the hardest soaps to really use, but it'll give you an idea. Now, I have been soaking this in warm water as well. Now, this puck is very, very down to the last minute, so it'll be a little bit different. So it's going to be even harder. So to make sure that this works right, I take the bloom water, and you can't see this off camera, and I pour that into the brush. And I'll let that soak into the brush for a few minutes. But again, I will squeeze all that water out. But it has some residual soap in it, therefore it will lather up. Now, with the lather, I will start swirling the brush. Now, like I said, this is down to its last puck, or down to its last legs. But you can see, and you can actually turn the puck over and have the soap get deep down into the brush itself. Now, it's going to be a foamy mess in the beginning. But the one thing with a Badger brush, especially one that has poor flow through, you want to load this heavy. And one of the keys that I find is you do a plunging action, like a shock absorber. And that will actually create a suction, and you can hear it. And that'll actually suck the soap into the brush itself. And you can see, you can get a very beautiful lather into the brush. Like I said, I'm loading very, very heavy, and I always do with Mitchell's Wool Fat. So let's just use that. Now, as you can see, it's got a foam. Now, I'm going to use my hand for virtue of this. So it starts to come out kind of thin because the brush is not releasing all of that lather, and you can see that. So what you can do is you can squeeze that out and then start lathering again, whether it be on your face, you know, and you can bowl lather this too. But as you can see, you can get plenty of soap out of Mitchell's with a Badger brush. Now, what I will do here is I will add water. Now, the way I add water to a Badger brush is I take my hand and I put a few drops of water in the brush itself, and then I'll start lathering again. Now with Mitchell's, this may take a little while, and when we do our video today, our shaving video, you'll see what I mean. But that is, to me, the key of getting a good flow through on a Badger brush, and you can do it. Just make sure that you go through the steps necessary to make sure that you can get everything out of the brush that you want. But there you go. You can lather Mitchell's Wool Fat easy. And this was just a very quick tutorial on how to get a Badger brush to work with Mitchell's Wool Fat. So we'll get cleaned up here real quick. So please stay tuned for our actual shave video today, and we'll be back in just a little bit. Thanks much. Hey everybody, welcome back for the shave. We hope that tutorial helped you a little bit in how to get a Badger brush to really flow through. And I use one of my hardest Badger brushes. So for today, don't forget, today's shave is brought to you by Nurse Dave's Shaving World. Please go check him out, where everybody's a winner, always. So anyways, okay, so what are we using for today? Well, for our razor, we're going to be using a George Wolstenholme 8/8 for barber use. This is a beast. And I think this one is a quarter hollow. I've got two. I've got one that's a wedge, and I believe this one's a half hollow, I think. So we'll be shaving with that. That has been stropped on the convex balsa strop, then linen, then leather for a few times. For our brush today, and you saw it in the tutorial, we're going to be using a Morrison Ford Dran, and this has got a 2-band Super Badger from Lee Sabini. And so that's what we'll start everything with, and then we will go to the other accoutrement that we'll be using. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. I'm really looking forward to our Zoom call today. So I know that a lot of people have issues with Mitchell's Wool Fat. And so why did I choose to use one of the hardest soaps to lather with one of the brushes that doesn't release lather very well? Well, it's just a matter of getting to know the soap and overloading the crap out of it, to be honest with you. But you can see, I mean, and I have not even added any water yet to the brush. But Mitchell's Wool Fat does require some work. I mean, it really does. But the benefits of Mitchell's Wool Fat are far-reaching in my opinion. And like I said, this brush does not release soap very well because even though it's gel tipped, Rudy Vay packs his brushes super dense. So, you know, you can get a great lather out of Mitchell's Wolfat with a Badger brush. You just have to take the time to load it correctly. And as I mentioned earlier to my subscriber, Ibrahim Makuk, I hope that that little lesson on how to prepare a Badger brush, even before you shave with it, helped. And please understand that the opinions on this video are that of the author alone. They do not reflect the TSC or any other opinions. The shave is yours. Do it the way you want to do it. It's just what works for me. Okay, here we go. Although not in my wheelhouse per se, for overall shaving all the time, an 8/8 razor is a blast to use. Very heavy, so basically all you do is let it fall down your face, but just they're quieter. And they have a tendency to be a little bit better. And it's probably due to the weight for coarser beards, but you can lighten up your touch and still use it for less dense beards. I've got one of these at the shop that I use specifically for a certain client that I have that basically dynamite won't take care of his whiskers. And as I'm doing the pass, you can see his whiskers growing back. My good buddy Nurse Dave has an animated GIF as his avatar, where it shows the avatar shave or the gift shaving, and then immediately the whiskers grows back. That client is like that. So I use that razor on him exclusively just because he's got such a heavy beard. And the heaviness allows him to have a smooth shave as well. Now that first pass, I could probably, that was DFS right out of the gate. So it was a very, very good first pass. The thing I also like about the big 8/8s is they hold their edges really, really well. And, you know, what I like about the Wasti version of the 8/8s for barber use is you can find them a heck of a lot cheaper than you can the Wade and Butchers. And I've got both. And I honestly prefer, and I know Lukey3262 is probably going to roll over, but I prefer the Wostenholms to the Wade Butchers, to be honest with you. But to each his own, as they say. Also, for those of you that watch quite often, on the 26th of March, I believe that I have a client coming in that has agreed to allow me to film a straight shave in real time. So I'm going to do the haircut off camera, and then we will come in at the point of the shave, and I'm going to do it unedited. So it's going to be a little bit of a longer video, probably 45 minutes to an hour.
but it's going to show, and I'll explain, because I'll be doing a voiceover after I film it on what I'm doing and why the barber shaves are so important still today. And so if you ever want to go get one, you can kind of look and see, okay, this is what should be happening during that shave. Because I've got two types of shaves. I've got my standard shave, which 9 times out of 10 I use a removable blade straight, whether that be a Feather DX, or in this case, I'm going to be using the Essence. That shave still has all the towels and everything else, but it uses a little bit, instead of using a brushed on soap, it uses my lather machine soap, which is also a very, very good soap. I sourced that from a specific vendor, but it's warm lather, and the aftershaves and the clones are a little bit of a lower quality than I do for my what I call my ultimate experience, which is all Italian or British, a regular straight razor. It takes a little bit more time, but this will give you an idea, because the mechanics of the shave are exactly the same. It's just all the added extra. So look for that probably around the end of the month, and I will post that on this channel as well. So we're going into our third pass, and we're going to do a cleanup pass, I'm sure. But as you can see, Mitchell's Wolfat, what I like about it is you can thin that out for that last pass, and it makes it super slick. I would say that Mitchell's Wolfat, as far as overall slickness, is second only to Williams. As far as overall slickness, I think it's got better face film, better properties, but and for those of you that are watching, as you know, we are knocking on 1,000 subscribers, and we're extremely happy about that. Getting to 1,000 subscribers is going to allow me to become a partner with YouTube. Which does allow me to gain a little bit of income through your donations and through ads, what they call AdSense. But that's really not what's important to me. What's important to me is the fact that I'll be able to do a whole lot more as far as content, as far as reviews on soaps and aftershaves, because it'll allow me to go and purchase those. As of right now, I don't have any, because I try, I mean, not that I wouldn't accept a request from a vendor or a provider to do a review, but I'd like to do this as non-biased as possible. And unfortunately, when somebody gives you something, there is a bias, because what if you don't like it? You know, you have a vendor that gives you soap and says, hey, review this, and then you hate it, and you know that could cause bad blood. So to me, you know, it's and I haven't decided how I'm going to do that. I mean, we are going to start another channel on different subjects like coffees and watches, and maybe some general talk, which I already have. So please keep subscribing, sharing, which is important for the channel. and of course commenting like Ibrahim did. And I will try to do certain things as part of the channel to help anybody out or anything like that. A little bit of cleanup today. I was a little heavy-handed, I think, when I was doing my passes, because I can feel it. And that's the problem with this thing, you shave with a lightweight razor. And this week I was bad. I shaved with DEs most of the week because I was in a hurry. Except for yesterday. I did shave with the Titleist, which has 35 shaves on the Feather Pro Guard blade. I'm still doing the one blade challenge. So I have a feeling the alum is going to bite me a little bit today, so we'll see about that. So I do appreciate you riding along. It's a little bit longer video today with the tutorial and everything else. Yeah, the alum's going to light me up, I think. We'll see. Yeah. Wee spot. Not so much on my lip or my neck, but on the sides of my face. I had a feeling that was going to happen because I felt that I was being a little bit too heavy-handed, which I have done before. Also, another thing that was brought up by one of my subscribers, and I do apologize, I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about how most manufacturers of Badger brushes and even boar brushes will say, shake the water out and let it drip dry. Again, it's your shave, but what I do is I rinse it out real well, I shake it out like crazy, and then I take a towel and I fluff it up, so to speak, and that dries it. I'm not worried about anything getting down into the knot. I've never done that, and some of the manufacturers say, "Oh, you'll hurt the life of the brush." Horse hockey. That's not true. Most of the time, in my opinion, it's it's a way for the manufacturer of the brush to sell you a handle or a holder. And those of us that have tons of brushes, we had holders, we got brushes everywhere. For our witch hazel today, we're going to be using Quinn's Lavender. And again, I put this on a damp face because when I tried it, and I know Dave dries his face and then puts on just a couple of drops, which is great. But for my face and the heat that we have out here, if I did that, it would be swamp face fairly quick. So let's quickly go over what the initial part of the shave was. Once again, Mitchell's Wool Fat, you know it, you love it. Or maybe you don't. But another key to Mitchell's Wool Fat that I have found in all the years that I've had it, and I've had this soap for a long time. This is one of the few soaps that I refill every single time. Is I grate the puck, and somebody taught me that a long time ago. Is instead of leaving the puck whole, grate the puck and press it back into whatever container you're using. For some reason, adding that. And I don't understand the molecular structure of that kind of stuff, but to me, I think it does change the molecular structure. It adds some air, and then when you press it back into the puck, I think it works better. I think the water can get down into the puck a little bit more when you pre-soak the puck. Just make sure, and those of you on the cadre know this, do not use a cheese grater that your wife uses for enchiladas. It doesn't come out very well. So have your own separate grater. Trust me on that one. For the razor today, once again, a George Walston Home & Sons 8/8 for barber use. Just a tremendous, tremendous razor. And to give another tribute to my good buddy Nurse Dave, Nivea 2-in-1, and I'm running low on this, and I am going to have to figure out a way to get some more. It's got the little Aquanaut in it that was brought to us by UA Cowboy. But what's cool about it, two separate stuff, and then I won't do the Papow. I'll just go, yeah, Papow. And it just mixes up into this great color. And you don't need a lot of this either. 2 or 3 drops. But, wonderful. Pretty much a neutral smell, a little bit of aquatic, but it's got some great face properties. And with the fact that I was heavy-handed and tore my face up a little bit today, it feels so good. For the talc today to match our EDT is Yardley Elegance. Good stuff. Also, with us coming into summer, and some of you are going to think this is a wacky idea, but I've noticed it already in the shop, because obviously the shop is humid and warm and stuff, with all the stuff that, with the hot towels and everything else. Why not get yourself a little container of talcum, whatever talcum you have, and an extra brush that you're not using. Take it to work. You go into work, and towards the middle of the day, you look at yourself and you look like a greasy burrito. Or if your face is a little shiny, I know that's usually a term reserved for women. Why do you think they carry the little compacts? Because what they do is they dab it in and boom. And there's a movie, and if you haven't seen it yet, you need to. And if you haven't seen it yet, you've been living under a rock. And that's Paul Newman, Jackie Gleason. Basically, it's called The Hustler. Black and white movie. It was the predecessor to A Color of Money. If you notice, when they're playing in the first part of the movie, Jackie Gleason is losing for a while, and then Paul Newman starts drinking. He gets sweaty. He gets it. What does Jackie Gleason do? Jackie Gleason gets up, walks into the bathroom, unlooses his tie, washes his face, puts some talc on, probably some Brill cream, cleans his fingernails, comes out and puts some talc on, and he's fresh, and he goes, Eddie, let's play pool, and wipes him clean. So, not that you're going to be wiping anybody clean at work. Well, Dave might. He's a nurse. You know how that goes. But anyways, take a little bit of talc with you and a brush. And in the middle of the day, if you're feeling kind of go into the restroom, wash your hands, clean your fingernails, wash your face, put some talc on, maybe a little bit of cologne, and you will feel fantastic. Try it. See what happens. Okay, and for our EDT today, one of the favorites, but it's getting low, and I'm probably going to have to go on the hunt. And that is Yves Saint Laurent Rive Gauche Pour Homme. Now, they still make Rive Gauche, but it's not the same. This is the original, what they call the barber pole version, or the Barbasol can version, because that's what it was made to smell like, is a little bit like Barbasol, that barbershop edge. That's why it's like this. This stuff is priceless, in my opinion. So anyhow, a little bit of a longer one today. We appreciate it, folks. This has been Barber Dave at Barber Dave's Barbershop at Home. We certainly appreciate you joining us, liking, subscribing, making comments. Keep on doing it. And again, come see us at www.theshavingcadre.com. We'll see you again tomorrow, and have a great day.